I'll throw the French Connections HCB plug in here because you're going to need help. You can probably figure out a lot of this stuff on your own, but navigating the visa and then getting yourself established here in France, it's really important to have somebody in your corner to help you navigate. You know, the driver's license, the carte vitale, the insurances.
You've got to have somebody to pick up the phone and talk to.
Hello and welcome back to Real French Connections. We're here today to talk to Lorraine and Mike, who we met about 9 months ago with their son, Tyler. You might remember it. In fact, it was an unforgettable episode because Lorraine had tumbled down the stairs on her second day in France and actually broken her ankle. What was extraordinary about that video was they didn't let it ruin their arrival in France. On the contrary. So we're back here now 9 months later, and they have a lot to talk to us about, including how many houses they had to see before they found their absolute perfect dream house. We're going to have a look around. How on earth did you find this place?
We had become interested in finding a place, and it seemed with our discussions with Richard, you know, here we are, boots on the ground, and Lorraine very much wanting to get into our own place. And we must have looked at about 15 different properties, which doesn't sound like a lot, but they were within a 30-kilometer radius of around here.
We knew we wanted an older house. We didn't want a modern house. We would spend hours looking online at places. Mike's a relationship guy. You know, he was contacting all these different realtors to be able to actually look at a place.
When we ultimately did come out and look at this place, we had looked at quite a few places. And I don't even know if it was a day quite like this, but I knew coming through the village, coming back the driveway and looking at this view, I just knew immediately that I could live here,
How about you, Lorraine?
So I was
not as quick to come around.
Well, not as quick to come around, but a big part of that was that I was really afraid to get my hopes up because I'd been so discouraged by looking at so many places and all the hours online trying to find places, and I was really afraid that we'd get our heart set on it and then it would fall through for whatever reason.
We had a lot of cases where there would be something about the property or the house that was just a deal killer. Like it was right on a road, or it was just way too far out in the middle of nowhere.
Or too many stairs. We really lucked out here because there really aren't that many stairs. And after what happened with my ankle, we didn't want, I'm very aware now of, wheelchair accessibility and all of that. And
interesting that incident when you first arrived of tumbling down the stairs and breaking your ankle night 2 as an entry point to life in France. Interesting that in a way that led you to this house, didn't it? Because it gave you a taste of
it would be
how
hard.
easily things can happen and how difficult it is to move around. So lucky for you and lucky for the house that happened. So when you arrived then and you saw that there were not too many stairs, were you reassured?
Yes, and then like seeing that there's a natural place to build on a master extension so we can have our, our main, really, except for my office, we can just live on this ground floor once it's done.
After all the places we'd looked at, we tried to come up with, okay, what's going to kill this deal? And we couldn't. It was like, okay, this place has definitely the capacity to be renovated in a way in which we think we can do, and it's structurally sound.
And the layout's simple.
Yes,
it is.
Because we looked at some houses that were very cool houses, but they were like little add-ons over the 2 or 3 centuries.
Winding staircase. It's just very difficult to
complex.
Complex.
Yes, this was very just simple.
Now it's yours.
Yes.
Work to be done before you can move in. Let's talk briefly about that. You've described the things that you want to do. You have an idea of how long it might take in an ideal world?
Well, an ideal world was tomorrow.
Yeah, not quite that fast.
Yeah, the guys are getting tired of me going, what's the update? What's the update? What's the update?
Keep going with that. I would keep going with that if I were you.
Realistically,
Yeah.
1 year. We would love to think it could be before that, but 1 year. If we're in here by next summer, that would be
If you're
fantastic.
in here by Christmas, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes.
That would be really, really cool.
And that's why we're making plans to take care of the workers so that they enjoy being here and it's easy for them to work here.
I mean, there's electricity here, there's water.
Yep.
We're going to put a fridge in the garage. I'm going to bring a barbecue grill out so those guys can cook. I mean, they'll be like,
Even better, you come here every day and you cook lunch.
I know, we thought about that. I'm
Save
going to
the
be doing
cooking time
Yeah,
of theirs.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking coffee.
I'm thinking beer, but not until they're done and at the end of the day, because it makes a difference. But I think you've probably seen the uniqueness of this property.
It's beautiful.
It is. That it looks down at the village, and we're hoping that over time we'll be able to fit in with the community, and because I think it's a pretty tight-knit community, these villages in France, you know.
That was a very, very big smile that the lady at the boulangerie
Oh, nice.
gave you.
That's
Oh, yeah.
so nice to hear.
yeah.
And the woman inside, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. So she knows us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, come on in.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, madame. Ça va? Tu vas bien? Ah,
So we know we're going to be the Americans on the hill.
yeah.
But anywhere that we would have gone, we would be the Americans. And we understand that
Yeah.
and
But
have
you're
accepted
the
that.
Americans on the hill making a beautiful house even more beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
We
We
hope
hope
so.
that's what they think. Yeah.
And buying your produce locally and joining in buying your bread. You know. And as you say, you play golf. You always said you wanted to join the golf club, and now you have, and I imagine that's
yeah.
a lot of friendships sparking there when you get round to be able to do the yoga classes. You're both doing your French lessons. I mean,
Yeah.
all the ingredients are there, aren't they?
Now I have a 20-minute drive to the golf course instead of 10, and I'm always a little bit late, so I'm going to have to plan accordingly
Yeah,
to get there on time.
So, looking back on how long since you first set foot in France?
It was late August.
Later,
So-
August.
About 8 or 9 months.
8 or 9 months. What would you now say to people who might be thinking of leaving in America and coming to France? What would you, I mean, looking back, the good and the bad, what would be your watch-outs and what would be your must-dos?
So if you have time, try to learn French before you come.
Yeah.
Because that has been hard for us. And
Yeah.
Tyler, our son, he's recommending that we try to learn from a native English speaker who has had to learn French themselves.
Right.
Because the challenge we're having in our French class now is that we ask questions
She speaks no English.
and she doesn't speep English.
Okay.
And so
That's
she
a little
doesn't
tough.
necessarily understand our questions
Yeah.
and we don't necessarily understand her answers.
Good advice.
Yeah, so we're trying to find an English speaker who can then teach us French. That
And they're
way.
here and they're available, and
here.
it's in Rodez. And
Yeah.
I know that I'm not going to give up. I want to
Yeah.
get to the point where I can at least have a conversation with someone. I'm 9 months in, so I'm hoping by this time next year that I'm, going to be able to have conversations with people. I would say to do your homework and do your research,
Yeah.
and come in and see where it is in France you might like to go. Now, us having traveled around a lot of France,
Yeah.
there's almost no place in this country I wouldn't live. It's a nice country. It really is. There's nice.
Which is both the good and the bad.
It is, because I mean, you guys hadn't been here, and
Yeah.
now you see, and
Yes.
people come here and go, "Wow, this place is
Yeah,
nice."
that's so true.
It is, and you live in France,
Yeah.
and so
Absolutely true.
come and see where you want to live, and then probably come and rent for a while,
Yeah.
and then if you decide, I think I can live in this country and navigate the bureaucracy and getting your carte vitale, which is so cute. I mean, I just got mine, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
congratulations.
I'm still
Yeah.
have some hurdles to go through.
Yeah, but I mean, I go to the pharmacy and I get what I need, and they ring it up, and she looks at me and says, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "No, I'm just dumbfounded at how inexpensive this pharmacy trip is compared to the U.S. It's a fraction of the cost."
Yeah.
But with respect to finding a property and know what your budget's going to be, and I'm lucky that I have this wonderful person that is a very good researcher and handles the budget aspects of it. But keep looking, and you'll find what you're looking for. But again, I'll throw the French Connections HCB plug in here, because they were very, and still continue to be, extremely helpful to us, because coming to France from the United States, if you're not familiar with the language or the culture, and maybe we were a little bit familiar with the culture, not so much the language, it's really important to have somebody in your corner to help you navigate, the driver's license, the carte vitale, the insurances.
You've got to have somebody to pick up the phone and talk to.
I mean, Richard sat through our, on video with the closing real estate transaction for this house. It was 100% in French. The notaire would look at Lorraine and I and read everything in French, and we just shook our head, and we'd look at Richard and he'd say, everything's good.
Now, that being said, we had reviewed it either with Richard or
printed it out in English,
notaire,
and I read everything.
So we didn't.
We weren't completely dumb.
No,
but
it's so useful to have somebody there just making sure what you were agreeing to.
Oh my gosh. That I would recommend that you're going to need help. You can probably figure out a lot of this stuff on your own, but navigating the visa and then getting yourself established here in France. Now, of course, I'm still trying to figure out, I love driving and I'm trying to pay attention, but I've gotten 4 speeding tickets since I've been here. And I haven't seen one gendarme yet. I just get a thing in the mail. Oh.
There were things that I wish I'd brought that I didn't. Well, it's a little crazy, but like at the end we were just throwing stuff in boxes and stuff. So we didn't have enough time to sort through things.
Yep.
But we left a lot of like household items.
Yes.
We just left, the people who bought our house there were willing to take them, and I wish we had brought a lot of that stuff, because we could have used it when we first
I suppose that must
came.
have felt so far ahead though, when you were coming over initially and you were going to be renting, and who knows whether you would have definitely stayed.
Or what we were going to need and what we weren't.
What you were going to need, but also, in the end, storage is storage, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a way, it's easier to sort it out here.
Yes, because we would have had room in our truck.
Yes.
But you're panicking because you don't want to fill up the truck, and whatever. So I wish we had had more time. We didn't have time because we had a reason to be here, and we didn't for Tyler's graduation, and we didn't want to have to go back and whatever. So
it was all rushed.
Yeah, it was all a rush.
But that is really useful advice for people. Actually, just bring it. Sort it out afterwards.
That's true. Yeah, and
you've got time.
And some people say don't bring anything, just buy everything new here. But
your familiar things.
It's familiar things, and I'm not a big shopper, so I didn't want to have to go out and buy new stuff. And it's overwhelming when you don't know where to shop.
Yeah.
Where the best places to shop. Even the carts. How to get the carts out. You have to put the little coin thing in, and we're like, why don't we
But it
get a
makes
cart?
perfect sense, because then you have an incentive to put the cart back where it belongs. Or in America, it's all over the parking lot. So when we moved here, it forced us. It's like, this is the big move, and this is when it is such an upheaval. It's such an incredible upheaval, and it would be whether you're moving right down the street.
Yeah.
But moving overseas is a huge endeavor. Don't take it lightly. If you're going to do it, really, really think about it. But maybe don't think about it too hard, because then you won't do it, because it's so overwhelming. It was incredibly overwhelming.
Yes.
But now that we're here, no regrets. No regrets.
Yeah, and so it's fun. So I have my own business, coaching business, and it's sort of been put on hold for 2 or 3 years because of, my parents passing and then, COVID and my parents passing, and then the move here. And so I've been trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I have now to offer that's maybe a little bit different than what I did before? Yes. And I'm actually hoping to work more with people like us who are on the cusp of retirement, or just getting ready to retire and don't want their worlds to get too small.
Yeah.
So I'm working on, okay, so how do you you spend your whole life and your career getting more and more specialized and more focused, and now's an opportunity to go like this. And I feel like that's what we've done in our lives, and that's the why not. How do you get your boundaries widened again, and try things, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but at least try.
I think that's a beautiful philosophy, and I can't help thinking that there would be a lot of people watching for whom that makes absolute sense.
I think, and along with that, our situation may be somewhat unique compared to a lot of other people. We don't have grandchildren, but we don't have really big family obligations in America.
Yeah.
So that made it easier to come here. And of course, we probably will go back at least once, possibly twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me, you mentioned plans for making the house sustainable.
That's been really important to us. And one of the things we love about France is just the focus on sustainability and climate change and everything. So we wanted to try to do our part with that.
Yeah.
And so the primary thing would be the solar panels in the backfield. So again, it wouldn't be an eyesore for anyone.
We have the room to put a nice bank of solar panels.
Yep.
They would hopefully will be able to install or have a design, a big enough bank of solar panels that would provide for virtually all of the electricity for this house.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for heating and cooling.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic. I mean, there's an upfront capital cost to that, but in the long run, it's worth it. The idea that we're not burning any fossil fuel and that we're having a very, very low carbon footprint, if you will.
Yeah. We're trying to buy lawn equipment that is rechargeable and electric. So right now we have a wonderful mower that the prior owners left for us, and it's loud.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with gas and whatever. So the plan is to buy the one with the rechargeable batteries, so it'll be quiet for the neighbors.
Fantastic.
And and still get the job done and hopefully be charged by the
and
solar.
This being the first electric car we've ever owned, the idea of not ever going to a gas station is just, it's like I drive by and I'm like,
not
fantastic. I know, and it's really actually, it's very cool. And France they have a very good infrastructure for electric vehicles. And it's a really cool, fun car to drive. And I use it a lot. I put my golf clubs, I use it all around town. So much easier to park.
And you have your son Tyler living in Europe, able to visit at the drop of a hat.
Yes.
Life's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
I'm
is.
so happy for you, and I really appreciate that you had us back.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity too.
It's been so lovely talking to you the second time.
Yes.
Hearing all the progress, seeing your home and being so easily able to imagine you being here and being so happy.
Yeah.
Already you're here and happy.
Oh,
you
thank
just
you.
aren't sleeping here.
Right.
Yeah, right.
You're going to be spending your days. We're picnicking on the lawn.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll
Thank you
see
very
next
much.
time round.
Yeah.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you.